If you're trying to build a health or wellness coaching business in 2026, the rules have changed. The tactics that worked even a year ago aren't working anymore. And if you don't adapt, you're going to be part of the 90 to 95% who fail. Here's the thing. There's no shortage of advice out there on tactics you can use to build your business. But before you choose a program that's going to give you those specific tactics, I invite you to take a step back and look at the principles that will help you succeed. Because following tactics without principles exposes you to unnecessary risks that can end up costing you in wasted time and money. These principles will help you lay the foundation for building a profitable business and also help you evaluate the different business building options you may be considering. I'm Nicole Piper. For 29 years, I helped build brands like MTV, Nickelodeon, and Pokémon into global icons. Now I use my Fortune 500 experience and advanced copywriting skills I learned from a legendary alternative health copywriter to help health and wellness professionals build profitable coaching businesses. I do it using my trust-based marketing method that gets rid of the guesswork and helps people see my clients as the obvious choice. In this video, I'm going to give you the 7 habits of highly effective health coaches updated for 2026. So the first habit is to focus on building trust. This is the foundation everything else is built on. And in 2026, trust is harder to build than ever, but also more valuable than ever. In 2025, I talked about the importance of building relationships with future clients. That was habit number 7 last year. But in 2026, I'm moving this up to the top of the list and I'm reframing it because without trust, nothing else works. Your offer, your marketing, your webinar, nothing. Here's why trust has become even more critical. People are sick of the salesy marketing tactics. Those are out, and I say good riddance, and authenticity is in. People are exhausted by the constant barrage of marketing messages. They're tired of being sold to, and they're skeptical of promises that sound too good to be true. We'll talk more about how AI complicated this in habit number 3. But for now, just know that the coaches who will succeed in 2026 are the ones who focus on building trust first. In practice, this means a few things. First, they have a clear trust-building pathway. You're not just posting random content on social media and hoping something sticks. They have an intentional strategy for how they'll build trust with potential clients before asking them to invest. This includes things like delivering consistent value through content without always asking for something in return. It means showing up authentically as themselves, not as a polished, perfect version. They're transparent about their process, their results, and even their failures. They address objections and resistance head-on instead of avoiding them. And they prove they can get results through testimonials, case studies, and their own story. Second, they understand buying speed. We'll talk more about this in habit 4. But the point here is they know most people need multiple touch points before they're ready to invest. So they create enough opportunities for people to get to know them, learn from them, and trust them. Third, they build relationships through email, not just social media. Email is the only platform you truly own. Algorithm changes can't take away your email list. And email gives you the space to have deeper, more meaningful conversations with your audience. The bottom line is, in 2026, trust is a currency that matters most. If people don't trust you, they won't buy from you, no matter how good your offer is. So make building trust your number 1 priority. Now, building trust is the foundation, but trust alone won't save you from the second biggest mistake I see, and that's building before you validate. And that brings me to habit number 2, validate before you build. This is a critical shift for 2026. One of the biggest reasons people fail to build a successful coaching program is because they don't do a thorough enough job validating their idea first. Many people build first and validate later. They spend months creating a program and then invest time and money trying to market it, either through the slow and painful process of posting on social media or by spending money on ads, but no one buys. Why? Well, because they didn't validate that there was actual demand for what they wanted to create. And you can't afford to waste time building the wrong thing. Now, I know this sounds bold, but when you do the deep research I'm about to describe, you can validate your idea with up to 95% certainty that people will buy. That process involves deep market research, not just asking your friends and family if they think it's a good idea. Here are some of the things I do with my own clients when I validate their idea. First, I look at YouTube demand. I dig into what people are actively searching for, what problems they're trying to solve. Second, I look at Amazon book reviews. I'm looking at what customers love, what they complain is missing, and what questions they still have after reading. The third thing I do is I spend time in Reddit communities. I want to see what language people use to talk about their problem, what they've tried that didn't work, and what they're desperately looking for. And fourth, I look at SEO data and search trends across the entire internet. I look at what people are typing into Google, how many people are searching each month, and whether demand is growing or declining. Then I run all this data through a validation framework. I use a 7-point green light framework. This framework evaluates 7 criteria, including problem urgency, market size, client affordability, your credibility, proven demand, competitive differentiation, and your path to reach ideal clients. If the offer passes all 7 criteria, you get a green light. If it doesn't pass, you know exactly what needs to be changed or whether you should actually pivot to a different offer altogether. So when you know this upfront, you don't waste months building something that won't sell. By the time you're done with this validation process, you're not guessing. You're building on solid ground with real data backing you up. Now let's move on to habit number 3. This one comes from something that's gotten way worse in the past year. So habit number 3 is building AI-proof marketing. One of the biggest problems I've seen in 2025 is assembly line marketing created by AI. I warned about the dangers of this last year, using templates and generic funnels that make everyone look the same. And now 12 months later, this problem has only gotten worse, much worse, because now AI is being used to create those assembly line marketing assets at scale. Let me be clear about something. AI is a fantastic tool. I use it every single day. The vast majority of what I use AI for is research, like I just talked about in the previous habit. And I'll also use it for brainstorming and coming up with rough copy ideas. It can actually be a pretty good junior copywriter, but I'm a professional, highly trained copywriter, and I know how to write high converting copy. And I absolutely have to rework whatever AI gives me, often quite extensively. For people who don't have solid copywriting skills, AI can give them a false sense of security. I can't tell you how many times people show up on my weekly coaching calls with copy ChatGPT wrote. They feel good about it because AI wrote it, but it needs a major rewrite. That's bad enough, but what concerns me the most is I've seen many marketing programs use AI to create marketing assets for people in their programs. Now, I understand why programs do this. It's faster and it's more scalable, but it's not always in your best interest. They often use templates and then they have, let's say, a junior copywriter smooth things out a bit, but the end result is everyone in the program has mediocre marketing assets that look practically the same. Some people I've worked with who fell into that trap even told me they would speak to potential clients who went through their webinar funnel only to find out they had already been through several others that looked almost the same. Some even use the same stock images in their case studies. Now, the saying that done is better than perfect has its place, but there's a difference between done and cookie cutter. This kind of assembly line marketing makes you invisible. Even worse, potential clients could call you out on it either directly or by posting comments on your ads, and that kills trust before you even had a chance to build it. Here's what AI-proof marketing looks like. First, use AI as a tool, not a replacement. Use it for research, use it to brainstorm ideas, use it to create rough drafts, but then rework it so it doesn't sound like AI wrote it. Second, you avoid templates and cookie cutter funnels. Third, make sure your marketing sounds like you. Now, once you have marketing that establishes credibility and sounds authentic, you need to understand something critical about your audience. And that brings us to habit number 4, which is about leveraging different buying speeds. This is another key shift for 2026. One of the biggest mistakes I've seen coaches make is assuming everyone buys at the same speed. They create a webinar funnel that ends with a call to action to book a sales call. And then they're frustrated with only a tiny percentage of people book. Well, here's what they don't understand. Most people are not fast buyers. You may have heard me use this analogy before, but it makes the point so well I want to repeat it. If you think about dating apps, Tinder is known for quick hookups. People swipe, match, message briefly, meet up, and then, well, they're fast buyers. Match, on the other hand, is more for people looking for relationships. They read detailed profiles, they message back and forth, they might have a few phone calls, then maybe meet for coffee, then maybe go on a date, and then another and another. They're slower buyers. And the same is true of your coaching business. Generally speaking, about 50% of the people who come into contact with you will be non-buyers. They're not your ideal clients, and we can forget about them. But of the remaining 50%, only a tiny percentage will be fast buyers. Those are the ones who see your webinar and immediately book a call. Typically, about 3% of people are fast buyers, and the rest, so the vast majority, are slower buyers. They need to know you better before taking the next step. And buying speed has been slowing down even more. Why? Well, because people have many more choices, a lot more choices, and they're skeptical because they've been burned in the past. Add to that everything that's going on in the world today and the pressures of economic uncertainty and people being more cautious about spending, and they want to be sure they're making the right decision. So you need to give them more touch points, more opportunities to learn from you, and opportunities to build trust with them. This means doing a few things. First, you acknowledge that most people won't buy immediately. You don't get discouraged when only a few people book a call after your webinar. That's normal. Second, you create multiple buying opportunities. You don't just have one offer at one price point. You have different entry points for people at different stages of readiness. We'll talk more about that in habit number 5. Now, the third thing you do is prioritize email marketing. You stay in front of them. You continue to deliver value. You give them more opportunities to see your expertise and earn their confidence. And this leads naturally into habit number 5, which is having a strategic strategic offer sequence. This is essential for 2026, and it's a natural follow-on to leveraging buying speed. If people need more touch points before they're ready for your high-ticket program, you need to know what to offer them in the meantime. That's where strategic offer sequence comes into play. This is a series of offers at different price points that work together to build your email list, establish your expertise, educate prospects on your unique approach, and create natural desire for deeper work with you. So each step builds trust and commitment. A strategic offer sequence includes offers at different price points, but don't go overboard here. You really only need a few. For example, a low ticket offer, something under $100, and this builds your list, proves your expertise, and educates people on your approach. Then a mid-ticket offer in, say, the $500 to $1,500 range. This delivers quick wins, deepens trust, and creates desire for more. And then you have your high-ticket program, which would be in, say, the $2,000 or more range. This is your premium program for transformation and support. So each offer naturally sets the stage for the next one. And one of the things I love about this path is it gives you the chance to test out different offers and different messaging with your low-ticket offer, so you can quickly figure out how interested the market is before you invest time and energy in creating the other offers. Now, I want to acknowledge that there's another path, which is the high ticket offer funnel. I've worked a lot with this. This is where you run ads to a webinar or a masterclass and close people directly into a $2,000 or more program. This can work really well, provided you have a proven offer, one you've already validated works, a financial runway, and I like to say at least $5,000 to $7,000 to invest in ads while you're optimizing your funnel. And you need sales confidence. So that means you're comfortable selling people on phone calls, and you need time and patience. So typically, I like to say 6 to 12 months to dial in your funnel, because you're asking people to make a significant investment without any previous experience with you. That takes time to optimize. It might not take that long. I've worked with many health and wellness professionals who followed this approach and got clients in the first month. But I've also worked with some where it took 12 months. So I just want to be honest about this. Now, if you have a sizable following, it helps, but it isn't 100% essential. Honestly, most health and wellness professionals who are just starting out don't have all of these things in place yet. That's why the strategic offer sequence is usually the better approach. For most health and wellness professionals, especially those starting out or just transitioning online, the strategic offer sequence is the better fit. It generates revenue faster, builds trust incrementally, and creates multiple income streams for you. So in 2026, with slower buying speeds and the economic uncertainty, this approach has become even more important. Moving on to habit number 6, which is about becoming a category of one. I talk about this a lot because it's so critical. Becoming a category of one means finding a way where you're not competing head-to-head with other coaches. You're in your own category. To help you do this, I came up with a 3-part category of one formula. The first part is filling the gaps. Now, we talked about validating your offer with deep market research in habit number 2. And when you do that, you know your market deeply. You know where people are dissatisfied with other options and what other coaches are missing. This tells you the gaps that exist in the market that you can fill. The second part is creating relevant uniqueness. This is about positioning your offer, not your personal brand. You need to show people that you have a unique approach to solving their problem. And your uniqueness needs to be relevant to your audience and the problem they have. You do this by helping people see their problem in a new light, which helps to establish your thought leadership. You also want to address any resistance they have head on, and you want to create a signature system that shows your unique approach. Then the third part of becoming a category of one is sharing your story. This is the part that most coaches are told to focus on first as part of developing their brand. But honestly, people with health problems don't care about your brand, at least not initially. And that's why that comes in last in the category of one formula. Your personal story matters, but it matters after you've shown people that you have an offer that fills a gap, is something that they want, and a unique approach to solving their problem. So your story should include your background and qualifications, your personal experience with the problem or helping people with the problem, and your lifestyle and values. But you want these to be relevant to your ideal client. For me, my story includes my 29-year background turning entertainment properties into high-profile brands. I'm not a former health coach like so many other people giving marketing advice. I've been a marketer for my entire career. My story also includes my advanced copywriting training and my passion for building a business that allows me to travel 2 to 3 months a year, mostly in France. These things help my ideal clients see why I'm uniquely qualified to help them and what kind of business I can help them build, one that gives them freedom and supports the kind of lifestyle they want to live. Okay, we're in the home stretch now, and this final habit might be the most important one. So habit number 7 is about building for sustainability. not quick wins. This is critical for 2026, and it ties everything together. Now, the first 6 habits are tactical. They're about the what. But this final habit is more about the mindset that determines whether you'll actually succeed or quit before you see results. The sad fact is most people give up too soon, and that's often because they end up discouraged because they're not following these principles. They launch their coaching offer, they run ads for a few months, they don't see immediate results, and they quit. I've seen coaches giving up after 4 to 5 months of not seeing a return on their investment. And here's the heartbreaking part. They often quit right before they would have had a breakthrough. Now, let me tell you a quick story. I worked with a coach who helped high school hockey players perform better. It was really important to these players because they were serious about their hockey and wanted to continue the sport at a professional level. It was a challenging market because she had to get both the teen and their parents on board. And it took 12 months before she really started to gain any traction. Now she's hitting consistent $20,000 months. If she had quit at month 5 or 6, like so many people do if they're not seeing results, she never would have seen that success. So here's what building for sustainability involves. First, you commit to the long game. You understand that building a profitable coaching business takes time. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. Second, you invest in optimization, not just creation. You don't just launch your offer and hope it works. You validate your offer thoroughly first. Then you track metrics. You test different approaches if you have to, and you make data-driven decisions, refining and improving as you go. Third, you don't put yourself in that position where you have to see results in 30 days or you can't pay the rent. You give yourself the space to test and optimize without panicking. Fourth, you persist through the messy middle. That's the phase where you're working hard, spending money on ads, and not seeing results yet, and you're questioning everything. Many people quit in the messy middle. The ones who succeed push through, and it's much easier to do that when you've taken the time to research your market and validate your offer first. So let's recap these 7 habits, because when you combine all of them, you're not just building a coaching business, you're building a sustainable, profitable business that can weather just about any market change. So the first habit is to focus on building trust. Make it your foundation, building a clear trust-building pathway, understand buying speed, and prioritizing email marketing to create deeper connections with your audience. The second habit is to validate before you build. Do deep market research using YouTube, Amazon, Reddit, SEO data. Run your offer through a validation framework so you know with 95% certainty that people will buy before you invest months creating it. And the third habit is to build AI-proof marketing. Use AI as a tool, not a replacement. Avoid templates and cookie-cutter funnels. Make sure your marketing sounds like you and not a robot. The fourth habit is to leverage different buying speeds. Acknowledge that most people need multiple touch points before they're ready to invest, and create different entry points and prioritize email marketing to build trust over time. The fifth habit is to have a strategic offer sequence. Build offers at different price points that work together to generate income while building trust and pre-selling your high-ticket program. The sixth habit is to work towards becoming a category of one. Fill market gaps, create relevant uniqueness, and share your story in a way that makes you the obvious choice. And the seventh habit is to build for sustainability, not quick wins. Commit to the long game. Invest in optimization, give yourself financial runway, and persist through the messy middle. Now, there's a lot more that goes into each of these habits. In fact, I've written detailed articles on many of these topics in my Substack newsletter. There are already dozens of them there, giving you all kinds of marketing insights that will help you build a profitable coaching business. It's free, and I put a link in the description for you to subscribe to it. Now, if you like this video, I would love if you showed it some love and gave it a thumbs up. And let me know in the comments which of these habits you're going to implement first, or which one surprised you the most. Now, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.